matrix multiplication. First thing I'll say is that order matters with matrix multiplication. So when it comes to regular multiplication, like 2 times 3, order doesn't matter because that's equal to 3 times 2. They're both equal to 6. So that's called the commutative property. Alright, multiplying real numbers is commutative. Alright, that means we could do it in either order. Now, matrix multiplication is not commutative. So if I had matrix A times matrix B, it does not have to equal matrix B by matrix A. So if I put A on the left side of B, that's called left-handed multiplication. If I put A on the right side of matrix B and multiply, that's called right-handed multiplication. So these are two different types of multiplication when it comes to matrices. Whereas with just real numbers, it really is the same thing. You could multiply two things in any order. Not the case with matrices. Okay, so if we read this top part here, to multiply two matrices, the number of columns in the left matrix must equal the number of rows in the right matrix. The product will have dimensions rows in the left matrix times columns in the right matrix. So what does that mean? In order to even multiply matrices, the number of columns on the left must equal the number of rows on the right. So here's what that means. If this matrix right here, let me undo that. This matrix right here is a 2 by 3, and then this matrix over here next to it is also a 2 by 3. Since the number of columns on the left does not equal the number of rows on the right, you can't multiply these matrices. So not possible. So a lot of times when you go to multiply matrices, you just can't do it. It's undefined. Alright, so if these two numbers don't equal each other, you cannot multiply those matrices. Alright, let's try this one over here. Okay, this is a 3 by 2 being multiplied by a 3 by 3. Okay, so again, we have the number of columns on the left does not equal the number of rows on the right. So you can't even multiply these matrices. Matrix multiplication is not defined here. Okay, so can't even do that one. This last one, okay, let's say we just take the two matrices in the middle and we flip-flop them. Alright, so we do it in the other order. Okay, remember I mentioned that left-handed multiplication of matrices is different from right-handed multiplication of matrices. Okay, this here, this is a 3 by 3 being multiplied by a 3 by 2. Okay, so since these two numbers do equal each other, you can multiply these matrices. And, even better, these outside numbers tell you the dimensions of the new matrix. So if you took a 3 by 3 and multiplied it by a 3 by 2, your answer is going to be a 3 by 2. So the inside numbers have to equal each other, and the outside numbers are the new dimensions. Okay, so now let's take this matrix and I'll show you how to multiply them.